Good evening. Tonight, we're bringing you a story that reaches far beyond the marble steps of the Supreme Court and into the daily lives of millions of Americans. We begin with a landmark Supreme Court decision, one that fundamentally reshapes how Americans can seek justice when they feel wronged or mistreated. In a rare show of unity, the court's unanimous 9-0 ruling has changed the rules for certain lawsuits across the entire nation, setting a new legal precedent that will be felt for years to come. This isn't just another legal headline. It's about your access to the courts, your right to be heard, and your ability to stand up for yourself when facing powerful institutions. Until now, countless Americans faced steep, often insurmountable hurdles. Costly fees, complex paperwork, and confusing legal standards just to have their cases considered in federal court. With this decision, the Supreme Court has removed a key barrier, opening the doors wider and making the process more fair and accessible for everyone, regardless of background or resources. The impact is broad. This decision affects not only doctors, hospitals, and business professionals, but most importantly, it touches the lives of ordinary citizens, people like you and your neighbors. All 9 justices agreed, sending a powerful, nonpartisan message about the importance of fairness and equal treatment in our legal system, values that are at the very heart of American democracy. The court is making it clear, federal justice must operate under one transparent, consistent set of rules so that everyone knows where they stand and what to expect. Tonight, we'll break down exactly what happened, why this decision matters so much, and how it could directly affect you, your family, or someone you know in the future. At its core, this is about the power of the individual to seek justice, to challenge unfairness, and to trust that the rules governing that process are clear and just for all. So let's take a closer look at how this historic ruling could change the way justice is served in America, and why it truly echoes in every American home. To truly understand this ruling, we first need to explore the unique and powerful role of the Supreme Court in the American legal system. The Supreme Court stands as the final authority on matters of federal law and the Constitution, shaping the legal landscape for generations. As the nation's highest court, its decisions set binding precedents for all other courts across the country. When the Supreme Court speaks, every judge and court in America must follow its interpretation of the law. The 9 justices are appointed for life, which helps insulate them from shifting political winds and public opinion. This lifetime tenure is designed to ensure that justices can uphold the Constitution without fear of losing their positions, allowing them to make decisions based solely on the law and their interpretation of our founding principles. The court only hears a small fraction of the thousands of cases appealed to it each year, usually those involving major constitutional questions, significant federal issues, or when lower courts have issued conflicting rulings that need to be resolved for the sake of national consistency. This particular case was chosen because it presented a nationwide conflict in the rules for filing lawsuits, an issue that affected people and courts across the United States. The Supreme Court's goal in such cases is to create a single, uniform standard that all federal courts must follow, eliminating confusion and ensuring fairness in the legal process. Its decisions don't just affect the parties involved in a particular case. They set rules and guidelines that impact the entire country, influencing the lives of millions of Americans. Throughout history, Supreme Court rulings have shaped the course of civil rights, protected free speech, and defined the balance of power between the branches of government. These landmark decisions have left a lasting mark on American society. The court serves as the ultimate guardian of the Constitution, ensuring that all laws and government actions align with the fundamental principles upon which our nation was founded. Each decision the court makes brings greater clarity and stability to our legal system, helping citizens and lawmakers understand the boundaries of the law. This process of judicial review and interpretation is a cornerstone of American democracy, protecting individual rights and maintaining the rule of law. Now, let's see how this particular case fits into that long and important tradition of Supreme Court decision-making. Our story begins with a pivotal medical malpractice lawsuit in federal court, Burke versus Choi. This case would soon become a landmark in the ongoing debate over the boundaries between state and federal law. In Delaware, the law was clear. Anyone filing a medical malpractice suit had to submit a sworn expert affidavit right at the start. This affidavit, signed by a qualified professional, certified that the case had genuine merit and wasn't frivolous. The goal was to prevent baseless lawsuits from clogging the courts and to protect professionals from unnecessary legal battles. But federal courts operate under a different set of rules. Instead of requiring detailed affidavits, federal procedure only asks for a simple statement of the claim, a much lower bar for entry. This difference set the stage for a major legal conflict. The central question emerged. When a case is heard in federal court, do state procedural hurdles like Delaware's affidavit rule still apply? Or do federal rules always take precedence? This wasn't just a technicality. It could change the outcome for countless plaintiffs. Across the country, federal courts were divided. Some enforced state requirements, insisting on affidavits, while others ignored them, following only federal rules. This patchwork approach led to confusion and unpredictability. As a result, the very same case could have a different outcome depending on where it was filed. Justice, it seemed, depended not just on the facts, but on geography. Recognizing the stakes, the Supreme Court agreed to hear Burke v. Choi. Their goal? To resolve this conflict once and for all, and to set a clear national standard for all federal courts. In the nation's highest court, both sides presented passionate arguments. One side championed state control, arguing that local rules protected communities and professionals. The other side pushed for federal uniformity, insisting that everyone should play by the same rules in federal court. The case became a crucial test of the delicate balance between state law and federal procedure, a question at the heart of the American legal system. The outcome would shape how accessible federal courts are for ordinary people seeking justice, especially those facing powerful institutions or professionals. For anyone confronting professional negligence, the stakes were enormous. The decision would affect not just lawyers and judges, but real people with real injuries and real hopes for justice. The Supreme Court's answer would ripple across the nation, shaping access to justice for millions of Americans and defining the relationship between state and federal courts for years to come. On February 2, 2026, the Supreme Court ruled unanimously, state affidavit requirements do not apply in federal court. Justice Kagan wrote that federal rules for starting a lawsuit are both comprehensive and exclusive. Plaintiffs don't need to prove their case at the outset, just state a plausible claim. Forcing state requirements would clash with the federal system. The court's message, federal procedure, must be uniform and accessible. All 9 justices agreed, ending years of legal confusion. From now on, every federal court follows the same standard. Professional liability cases can't be dismissed for lacking a state-mandated affidavit. The decision reinforces that federal rules govern federal courtrooms, ensuring fairness and predictability. What does this mean for you? If you ever need to file a professional liability lawsuit in federal court, the process just got easier. Before, strict state laws could force you to pay thousands for an expert report before your case even began. Now, that barrier is gone in federal court. You can file based on the facts you know and gather expert evidence later. This levels the playing field. Your right to seek justice no longer depends on your zip code or your wallet. The rules are now consistent nationwide. The ruling doesn't guarantee a win, but it ensures everyone starts from the same line. The courthouse doors are now more open to plausible claims. The decision also changes things for businesses, professionals, and insurers. Defendants like doctors and hospitals can no longer rely on early dismissals in federal court based on state affidavit laws. More cases will move forward to the evidence-gathering stage, potentially increasing costs and litigation. Defense strategies will shift from procedural technicalities to addressing the substance of claims. Plaintiffs may now prefer federal court in states with strict affidavit laws, shifting some cases away from state courts. Businesses and insurers will need to adapt their risk management. The Supreme Court made clear states define the substance of claims, but federal courts set their own procedures. This ruling cements the supremacy of federal rules in federal litigation. This case highlights the balance between federal and state power. States create their own laws, but federal courts follow federal procedures. The Supreme Court's decision affirms that when federal and state procedural rules conflict, federal rules prevail in federal court. The Rules Enabling Act gives the Supreme Court authority to set these rules, ensuring efficiency and fairness. State law still defines the substance of claims, but federal courts control the process. This clear line prevents confusion and ensures equal treatment for all litigants. Federal judges now apply one set of rules, not 50. The decision strengthens the independence and uniformity of the federal court system. It's a crucial step in maintaining the balance of our dual court system. Legal experts say this decision is about keeping courthouse doors open. The Supreme Court wants filing a lawsuit to be straightforward. Proving your case comes later. Uniform federal rules prevent chaos and confusion for judges and lawyers. One expert compared it to having a universal flight manual. Everyone knows the procedures. Patient advocates call this a victory for ordinary people, removing barriers that favored powerful institutions. The ruling doesn't make it easier to win, just easier to file a case in federal court. It shifts focus from procedural battles to the real issues at stake. The decision is practical, common sense, and levels the playing field. Experts agree. It's a significant clarification, not a revolution. The impact is clear. Federal courts are now more accessible and predictable. This unanimous decision is a powerful example of the Supreme Court's role in our democracy. The justices resolved a nationwide conflict, bringing clarity and fairness to the legal system. Their unity shows the court can rise above politics to uphold the law. This stability builds public trust and ensures a predictable legal environment. Supreme Court decisions shape the rights and responsibilities of all Americans. Staying informed about these rulings helps us participate in our democracy. The court's decision will echo for years, ensuring a more uniform and accessible path to justice. Justice is not just a principle, it's a practice, now more open to every American.